And we are live. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast. I'm Jay Angel. I'm going to be your podcaster for this evening. Tonight, I have a guy who's been on my podcast before. He has become a really good friend and a great supporter of the show. I have none other than Roy Widgeon from USA Kayak Fishing Magazine. How are you doing tonight, Roy?
Doing awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, since the first time you were on here, man, I'm seeing you all over the place. You are really a busy man. Why don't you tell the folks about your magazine a little bit?
Okay, awesome. So we are a digital magazine, and we focus on anything and everything kayak fishing. So we are now going into our third issue coming out June 1st, which is going to have Mike McKinstry as a cover, and it's going to have a cool article about how he went from a YouTube creator to a TV host. So been growing fairly well.
Wow.
Yes. It's on I believe it's the Pursuit channel for the Basquatch hunter. So he goes fishing with people and then goes and does their job. So it's a pretty
seen
cool
that
show.
Basquatch.
Yes. So that's a pretty good one. And then we have a piece from Drew Gregory, who is the 2024 Bassmaster Classic Kayak Series champion. So I'm going to have an article in there about him. And then write up about a new product I found, an Orion flare kit for the kayak, which it was really cool to see. And I don't think a lot of people take the time to think about if things go wrong on their kayak. So.
Yeah, they think about it a lot when things go wrong.
Yeah, that's hindsight 2020.
We already have a comment here, Roy. We have Cajun Rob, great friend of mine, great supporter of the show. He said, "Hey, Roy, you have a great magazine."
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. Yeah, I spend a lot of time trying to not only find good content, but think about what I would want to read or what I would want to see. So, trying to keep it more relatable of angler to angler, or if someone who's achieved something that is obtainable by the everyday angler, that's what I really want to go for.
You know what I've learned in over 25 years in this business? Guys like you can do that because you are relatable, because you do fish. I can tell you fish. I mean, I talked to you for 5 minutes and go, man, this guy fishes.
Yeah, I love it. I don't get to go as much as I want to because I'm typing keys and calling people, but I do as often as I can. I try to put the kayak in the water.
I'll never forget the comment you made on my show one night. Yeah, start a magazine, never fish again.
That feels quite accurate.
I just write for magazines, and I know how you feel.
Oh yes.
You got to do the interviews. You got to get the photos. You got to think about, how am I going to put these photos in? How do I make them relevant? And then how do I make a fantastic article? How do I put it? No, this needs to go up there. That needs to go over here. And then, oh my God, there's a typo. I can see it right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have to do everything through Google Forms. So I ask people questions, because if I were to call and talk to you and interview you, I would have 40 minutes of great conversation and 3 things written down. We will be done like J, computer, fish. What? Yeah, so I do everything through Google Forms. That way I can go back and review the answers and build from there.
You will get better at that.
Or hire someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hire somebody. Yeah. That'd be the best thing. So you just went fishing last weekend, didn't you?
Yes. So we had a Heroes on the Water Tidewater event here in Virginia, and we volunteered for that. It was pretty fun. I did a lot of rigging in the beginning, so we'd volunteer, set up the boats, set up the rods, get people out on the water, and then I was able to actually do some fishing. I just put a lot of stuff on my new canoe that I haven't even tried out, so I was able to check out my double graph setup, or my double fish finder setup, and the Bixby motor, which I was really, really impressed with. The whole event was awesome, and I was able to, catch quite a few fish while being on the boat. So it was pretty fun.
So Heroes on the Water, is that so? They take veterans fishing.
Correct. So what
They
they'll
have to
do
be
is,
disabled veterans, like wounded warriors, or
so it's anyone who served, active or retired, and
okay.
including first responders and their families. So they'll take them, give them a kayak to fish from, give them lures, give them a rod. They come back, they have lunch. It's a great camaraderie that's shared. So
I like organizations like that. When I was down and out, I had a heart attack between the time I was working offshore and the time I started working for the government again. And I contacted an organization like that, and they came and got me. They fed me breakfast. They took me fishing down on the coast. I caught my first redfish with them.
mm-hmm.
But then they were taking me home. They fed me lunch and dropped me off at my house. The guy must have driven 250 miles that day.
Yeah, they're an
and
immense group of
like,
people that want to help.
That's what I say about people like that. Even if the guy's not a wounded warrior, you never know whose life you saved. Because I was in a bad way. These guys came and they got me out of the drama of my life. And I spent the day fishing. I caught some redfish. After that, I was ready to start looking for jobs again. And I found the job that I have now.
Awesome. Yeah,
So,
I really enjoy it. I am not a veteran myself, but I do enjoy being around, helping out where I can.
You know what?
And
thank you for your support, man.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
No, thank you.
I tell you what, they don't pull any punches. The first time I went there, I was treated like I was one of them in multiple ways, and I was like, this is awesome. I want to come back. Even if I didn't have the magazine, I would still go there. So, which I didn't have the magazine when I first went. And if you have an opportunity, I mean, it's a great thing to do. I took my oldest son, who's now an Eagle Scout, and one of his friends, and they were helping so that they can actually experience giving back as well.
That's one of the few goals in my life that I did not obtain. Eagle Scout. I did not obtain that.
Yeah, he was able to get it, I think, at 14, maybe 14, 15. Yeah. So he was
in 8th grade. That's a fast burner right there.
Yeah. So now he's just having fun. He's he's an
Eagle Scout, man. He's one of the master leaders now,
He's getting there. So, but yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. I have a Bixby K1, and my new canoe is rather large, so I was concerned if it would move me around, and I was just bebopping around the lake. I absolutely love having a motorized kayak.
Oh, you have a motorized kayak, man. That's awesome.
Oh, yes. Yep, and the Bixby can just be popped on and popped off. So highly recommend that. So
yeah.
But
I would recommend that too. So did you get to do some fishing when you were at this event?
Yes. So normally I take a lot of photos, and I try to fish. I try to take more photos than fish, but
yes,
this time I did a little more fishing, a lot more fishing than photos, and we were pretty much knocking them out of the park on some shad baits, and one of my friends, Andrew Blair with Tactical Fishing Company, makes a nice shad, and I was just using this weightless with a just a regular casting rod, and just flipping it like a like you said, a jerk shad or a swim bait, and they were just crushing it. So, and he also makes this is one of his own. All of his lures he has drawn and made, had the molds made for him, and this is one of his hot new sellers. Oh, there we go. It's called the MRE. And
the MRE.
Yes, and it swims.
I hope I never have to eat another one of those as long as I live.
Yeah.
So the first one looks like more of a traditional fluke.
Yes.
Were you casting that weightless?
Yes, weightless. And if I have to, I'll put a nail weight. I love nail weights. So I'll put a
Sure.
nail weight front or rear to make it go backwards, forwards, however I need it to go. I'm not really a jig head fan with these types of things because
Sure.
in my opinion, they fall too fast for the style of fishing I do.
So I am a huge fan of just putting it on a spinning rod. Have 20-pound braid going to a 10-pound fluoro leader
Hmm.
and just casting that thing.
Oh yeah.
Them, and it's just gonna dart, 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 and then look like a dying shad. And that's what those bass are eating. They're going after the dying fish first.
Hmm.
A dying fish triggers a predatory response. If a bass is there, he doesn't have a choice. He's going to have to just gobble that up.
Oh yeah. And I love when you're using it weightless, it stays just a little below the water so you can see it. And I love to see the strike.
Oh yeah.
That's the fun part. Even if they're lower in the water column and I know that I'm missing fish, I still fish it high just in hopes I get to see it hit.
Oh yeah. I do the same thing. Then when I don't get any bites doing that, I have to sit there and okay. I'm growing a beard here. Come on,
Yeah.
go ahead and sink. And that's where the nail heads come in. You can even put a 16th ounce nail head in there, and it's just going to sink a little bit slow.
Oh yes. And he made some chartreuse ones that I really want to take out for some speckled trout this year.
Speckled trout, yeah.
So chartreuse is always a good thing here in Virginia Beach.
Speckled trout. I like the chartreuse. I also like this color. Now you can't see it with that. This,
Oh yes.
you see how it's kind of white, then it goes into like salt and pepper.
Yeah, I actually have one of those right here.
And look at how small that thing is for speckled trout. I like, man. Sometimes I like the smaller things, and sometimes I like the bigger things for speckled trout. If they're in fast moving water, if the tide's changing and it's going through a canal or a bayou, I have to use a little bit bigger stuff.
Right.
Just give them something to hone in on. But in fact, since I don't fish tournaments, I'll put on a live minnow, and usually only the big trout go after live minnows.
Yes.
And you talking about kayak fishing? Kayak fishing's huge down here. In fact, they have the Ride the Bull
Mm-hmm.
in Grand Isle, which is one of my favorite places to fish. 500 plus kayaks every year.
That's a lot.
And they put that out in Caminata Pass. Caminata Pass has some hellacious currents going through it, but they have boats all over this place. In fact, you don't bring in the you have to catch a boy. I'm getting excited here. I can't talk. You have to catch one bigger than 27 inches. You call them, or you sit there and wave. They come over, they grab it, they take your boat number, they register it for you, and then they release it.
Wow.
It's really a big deal, man. I'm going to have to go there one of these years and just to cover that thing.
You need to get a kayak.
I do. Actually, Cajun Rob, who's here right now, him and I are both talking about getting kayaks. Neither of us have boats. He's a co-angler. I'm an outdoor communicator. So we fish on other people's boats.
Right.
You don't have to pay insurance. We don't have to pay, we don't have bearings going out when you're going 70 miles an hour and you've already driven 200 miles. So, you're way far away from that. It's all happened to me.
Just swap them on the side of the road and keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I love the New Canoe Unlimited. I have it's a 600-pound weight limit. I think it might be more than that. I know it's at least 600, but it has the ability you can put a outboard motor on it if you want it.
Outboard motor.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, there's going to be 225s on the back of those things.
I forget what the rating is, but a lot of people put a small outboard and they can just go out and do duck hunting and fishing in salt water, and you're good to go. So,
man, with the way that they're making the lithium batteries anymore, how small those things are, you can have a 3 battery system
Yes.
And the lithium battery doesn't weigh that much. Oh yeah, Cajun Rob just said I'm definitely getting in the kayak game. Also Cajun Rob also made a comment. He said it's a great honor being an Eagle Scout. He was an Eagle Scout class in 1987. He says he runs into a lot of Eagle Scouts in business. And Rob's also a veteran, so he's all around that.
Oh yes.
That kind of stuff.
Trying to see what rating they had on the unlimited, but yeah, they can sport a full outboard motor on it.
Man, 600 pounds. That's huge. That's huge.
Yes, I lied. It's 650, and it can handle a maximum of 2.5 horsepower.
2.5 horsepower. Wow.
On a kayak, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
But I love it. It has a swivel seat, so I can spin around, get what's behind me, or if I want to fish off the side, I could just turn sideways, just like being in an office chair. And I'm a big guy, and getting in and out of it is a breeze because the seat
Really?
it can actually spin sideways, so I could just sit in it and then swivel in. Whereas with a normal kayak design, I have to put a leg in, scoot over. Like I can do it, but it's just not as nice.
See, that was a good sales pitch right there to us big guys. I'm a big guy too, and that was always how the heck am I going to get in one of those things? Okay, so it can support me.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Now I have other questions. How am I going to get it? How am I going to get out of this thing without tipping it over and losing my thousands of dollars worth of fishing rods and even more thousands of dollars worth of fishing equipment?
So I also have a stand-up. They call it a casting bar, and it is a stand assist. But I use that for just stability, but more so to hold my electronics. So I just grab it. It's on a swivel, so it will move if I lean on it. But I do like having it there for the mental confidence of I have something to hold on to. But when I come ashore, I just rotate sideways and step right out of the boat. So it's really nice. It's one of the nicest. It is the nicest kayak experience I've had.
Well, there you go, man. And there you go. Are these things reasonably priced?
Yes. So this one here, MSRP is $17.99.
Jeez, that's a lot different than like the new Vexus or Icons, 120,000.
Yes.
Yeah,
you could even be taken in
1,700. The live scope's going to cost even more than your boat. You know.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. But I absolutely love the new canoe. I'm not sponsored by them, but I'm a definite fanboy.
So, casting in these things.
Mm-hmm. It's super.
You and I are both big guys. We can talk about that. So, you have a 7'6" medium heavy action bait caster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I have to. No, it doesn't wobble. No.
Okay.
I can do side. I have to do a little sidearm because I have a Yak Attack Black Pack with 6 rod holders behind me.
Oh,
so
geez.
If you go behind you, you're just gonna like going in the trees, if you will. So I just sort of do a off to the side.
Okay. So kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with spinning rods, just
yes.
Man, with the 7-foot spinning rod, just go flick of the wrist. That thing's 100 feet.
Yeah. Anyone who says that they're too big to kayak or they're looking for something stable, if they were close, I would take it to them and let them go. It'll blow your mind. With all of my other kayaks, I couldn't comfortably launch from a dock because transitioning from the dock to the boat was always really sketchy and unstable. And with this, when I get in, I just, like I said, turn the seat to the side. I sit in the seat and swivel around, and I'm good to go. So I haven't had a situation where I felt that this boat was going to let me down.
Okay, what about transducers?
So with the New Canoe Unlimited, they have so right now I'm running a Yak Attack cell block on the side, and I have
Sure.
my triple shot off the side. But I'm going to get the through hull transducer mount from New Canoe. So that way I can have my triple shot under me and then my active target 2 off the side.
Okay.
So that way I can have everything.
So you have to get there and you have to mount the active target too.
Yes. So it should be mounted, but just folded up out of the way.
Okay.
Like pivoted. And then when you get there, you pivot it down, do your thing, and go. So on a kayak, a lot of things are made to be mounted out of the way
Sure.
and then positioned back. So, and I had a lot of people ask us a lot. I had a couple people ask me about the casting bar if it gets in the way when I'm fishing. And the way I've got it, I don't mount it locked down so it swivels. So if I'm fishing, I could just push it down out of the way, and I have a complete open deck. But if I want to see my graphs of my fish finders up close, I just pull them up to me. So
okay. Wow.
But,
wow.
Yeah.
So
I will
now,
say
now
though,
can you stand up and cast in a kayak?
I personally haven't tried because
Okay.
I'm a big guy. I
Sure.
don't want to, but I know that this boat will hold me, and I see people that are bigger than me that do it. So I just haven't done it yet.
Because
And
you see videos of Christine Fisher, where she's a little lady.
I think she weighs the same amount as my right leg.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
If I went to the bow of my boat, it would be flipping.
Yes. But still, that's a great sales pitch. You see a guy like me, if she can stand in the bow of that boat, I can sit in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah. Guaranteed she could run all around this thing.
Yeah. So that's called New Canoe, NU, right? NUCANOE?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Because when you first said it, you said, I have a new canoe. I'm like,
yeah. It's kind of people that don't know, it catches you off guard.
It did. It caught me completely off guard. It caught me just completely off guard.
Yeah, I would recommend if you go online, there's a lot of forums, and there are people that are pro staff almost in every state. And then you can basically hook up with them, and they'll let you take it out. You can try it. Or even, I know that No Bad Days Kayak, Forrest Green, he's, I want to say he's in Texas. I don't want to lie. I just had a brain moment. Yes.
How much does this thing weigh?
Oh.
Could I easily put it up on top of my SUV?
I would not car top this one. It weighs 84 pounds.
Oh, that's not bad.
But if you have things on it,
car top it?
Because it's huge. It's the width of it is 41 inches. So when you try to put it up on top, I mean, you could do it, but it's just so much weight to be on top of the car. I put mine. I have a trailer from Malone. I put it on that, or I would put it in the back of a bed of a truck with a extender, maybe. You could SUV it, but it's going to be difficult. But I know that Forrest at No Bad Days Kayak in Texas, he drives all over the state to take demo boats to people so they could try them out. Like that dude has a level of customer service that I've never seen. So, but find someone that has one and give it a run. It might change your mind about kayaks.
Sure. So have you used this in the saltwater as well?
This one I haven't put in saltwater. I had a Vibe Shearwater before, and I went in like one of the local. It's called Rudy Inlet. I went in Rudy, and it was fun, but it was kind of sketchy because it was not as stable as what I was hoping for. And the other thing too is with my other kayaks, anything behind me was just behind me. I couldn't get to it. Whereas with the New Canoe, I could just swivel around, grab things, swivel back, and I'm good to go. So, But
So, where do you keep your tackle in a kayak?
so I have a Yak Attack Black Pack, which is a crate, and I keep all of my lures in a like Plano boxes in there with my battery, and then I have another little bag that I put my essentials in. So like when I went for Heroes on the Water, I was going to be doing soft plastics, so I took everything out except for soft plastics, and that was what I was going to use for the day. So, and then you have little holders on the side, so if you had a Plano box, you could just slip them into the holders. And all of the new kayaks have storage in mind, so they've got some type of solution built into it.
Interesting, man. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the companies have missed the mark on marketing to the bigger paddler. There was one that I was talking to, and they had a weight limit of all of their kayaks had a 500-pound weight limit, but every
Wow.
single person they showed in it weighed about 120. So I was like, you have a beefy kayak, show someone big in it, because
No.
if you don't see someone using it that's big, then you don't think that it will hold someone that's big.
If you're a big guy like me, me, my equipment, and my cooler that I'm going to be putting redfish in, that's gonna be pushing 500 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I carry a lot of jigs when I fish the salt. Lots. And I don't even want to talk about it. I'm obsessed.
You would have to pare down some of your stuff. You take what you're essentially going to need when you kayak fish, as opposed to a boat. But if you only have it, then you got to learn to fish with it.
That's true. You use a little bit bigger line so I don't break off. It doesn't matter in the Louisiana salt because we don't have clear water. So, Mississippi River makes sure of that.
Oh yes.
That's a huge influence. So, we're getting close here. Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell people if they're interested in looking up USA Kayak Fishing Magazine, how would they get more information about that, Roy?
So you can go to usakayakfishingmagazine.com, and there you'll be able to view the latest issue and some of the past issues. You'll be able to subscribe for the one that's coming out in June. And once you're on the mailing list, we've been doing a lot of giveaways. We have one running right now that's for a Malone transport kit, which is like wheels for rolling the kayak down to the water, J hooks for putting on top of the car, those types of things. Malone's been a really good partner for us. So we have a couple of items that we still have to give away in the coming months as well.
That's interesting. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the magazine, just in closing?
We're always open to ideas and contributors. So if it's interesting to you, it's more than interesting to someone else.
Yes.
So any bait makers, rod makers, whatever that's out there that want to showcase something new. Like I said, this is Andrew's MRE that he designed himself. That's a killer by itself or on a trailer for a spinnerbait or a bladed jig. So if it's interesting to you, there are other people out there that really, really, really want to know about it. So just go on the website. There's a spot for a contributor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is also great for underspin. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So there's another gentleman that makes baits, battle baits. He makes great spinner baits and underspins. I was trying to get him in this issue coming up, but he's really, really busy with work and building and stuff. So I wasn't able to nail him down for this issue. But he and Andrew have an understanding on colors that's quite amazing. I don't know if they got together or it just happened, but Andrew's colors of his baits mesh perfectly with battle baits, spinner baits, and bladed spinner baits and underspins.
Very good. Very good. Hey, it's 30 after the hour. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to do?
I'd like to give a shout out to Forest Green with No Bad Days and Yak Mods. They are a couple of people that have been supporters of the magazine, as well as Hobie Eyewear. And as always, Heroes on the Water. I mean,
Yes, Heroes on the Water.
We just have officially become a media partner with Heroes on the Water, so we'll be advertising their events coming up, as well as supplying media support for local and whatever events they need us at.
That is awesome, man. I am so glad that you're supporting a worthwhile cause like that. That's my service work. I really like to support the veterans, support the people who supported us.
Well, it's an awesome event. I mean, like I've said, it's free to the military that are active and retired, and they take their families. So on the past event, I mean, there were I'd say maybe 5 or 6 kids running around that came, and they were welcomed, and they all were fishing and catching, and everyone was having a blast.
Well, you have to be active or retired?
So just in the military in some form or fashion at one point or another.
Okay, so veterans too. That's good.
Yeah, veterans as well.
That's good. That's good. Well,
Yeah.
Hey, man, Roy, thank you very much for taking time out of your very busy schedule for coming here and talking to our listeners here on the Let's Talk Fishing podcast.
Awesome. Well, let's hope things keep growing for both of us, and we'll next one will be a better office, and you'll be in a penthouse somewhere.
Penthouse. Thank you. I appreciate that. And boy, I sure do hope that you're right. Man. Also, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to Let's Talk Fishing podcast. You know what, guys? It's Wednesday. Make your plans. Get out there on the water because, man, you only get to do this once. And Roy, please stick around after the podcast ends. I'd like to talk to you for a couple minutes.
Oh, yeah.